Hi, my name is Fideline Joel Pokamwafo, and I'm here to present to you my relationship paper that is based mostly on communication in between couples, either in marriage or between boyfriend and girlfriend. But particularly, it's the relationship between my husband and I. Communication involves the collaboration of two people as they share and examine all of their perceptions, feelings, in ideas, and thought to come to an accurate understanding of what is happening. As a couple, communication is essential in establishing and preserving a loving, respectful, and long lasting relationship between two couples. The reason I choose to focus on communication in my marriage is that my couple, that is my husband and I, instead of being a means of foster love and understanding, at times becomes a battleground in which each of us try to present our own version of what's happening in the relationship. Let me talk about my relationship, talk a little bit about my relationship. I met my spouse about 15 years ago. We fell in love and got married 7 years later. We have been married for the past 8 years. The first year of our marriage were turbulent because we were faced with a lot of challenges. I registered for school a few months after marriage and also became pregnant with our first child. Our relationship was very tense as we had to overcome the hurdle of raising a kid's education and not being able to make enough money to support our family. In such a tense environment with no experience, communication was a very difficult challenge for us. Our approach of resolving these difficulties was to let stuff accumulate and avoid to talk about it. We would either use the blame game or the silent approach based on the circumstances. In such circumstances, it is easy to see how difficult the communication between us in our early marriage was hard. We were gradually able to overcome this through developing our communicating skills and guidance from our friends and parents. Though we have made great strides in our overall communications, much still has to be done, as effective communication is the backbone of every lasting and fulfilling relationship. To support the communication relationship, we have found two articles on the website. One was from the Psych Alive that talks about communication between couples. It is a group of psychologists that did the articles. They said that most couples have a basic misconception of what the purpose of communication. In most circumstances, an approach to communication between partners is simply reduced to a debate where each individual has a preconceived version of the reality of what is going on. And that's what we face at the beginning of our marriage. This article indicates that without learning to communicate, partners cannot express themselves and listen to each other. This limits intimacy. This article stress that partner needs to develop communication skills in order to build and preserve a respectful and loving relationship. The article put emphasis on collaborative communication. It is also provide it also provide four basic skills which can be learned and developed to help build such relationship. This includes how to approach a conversation in relationship, how to talk to your partner, how to listen to your partner and determine reality. The article notes that couples should approach the conversation with a mindset of listening of what their partner have to say, rather than approaching it as a battle which they must win. This article advises couples to express their thoughts, feelings, and perceptions without blaming, criticizing, or accusing their partners. It also recognizes the needs for couples to express their embarrassing and humiliating feelings, including their personal needs. This article urges couples to engage in conversation with the decency of and respect they will normally reserve for others. As indicated in the article, several factors must be taken into account for effective listening to occur. This includes making sure the conversation is not about you, hearing your partner out, indicate to your partner that you are listening, have empathy and compassion for your partner. The second article that we have used to sustain our communication skills is coming from the journal 5 Communication Pitfalls for Couples, written by Margarita Tartakovsky. This article was an extract of a book called Power of Two: Secret of a Strong and Loving Marriage by Dr. Susan Hitler. This journal brings out 5 communication pitfalls between couples, such as knowing communications rules, compromising, playing the blame game, escalating, and lack of effective listening. Those are the 5 pitfalls affecting marriage couples. This journal indicates that constructive communication has rules which some partner might not know. This includes avoiding hurtful behavior like criticizing, blaming, or misinterpreting. Such behavior should be avoided in a relationship. Another pitfall raised is the compromise, which might lead to a lose-lose solution. This article also used couples to talk about the specificity of each other underlying concerns and respond to them. Asking a question to your partner needs to be answered, even if it is considered a mockery question or whatever. Every question has its importance and needs to be answered. Instead of finding whose fault it is or blaming each other, it is important for us to find new ways of engaging our partners. Not letting escalation and emotion take over is an advice. And practicing effective listening is mentioned as a tool against the pitfall of communication in a couple. As with the PsychAlive article that we just talked about, it is important that communication plays a very important role in relationship. Emphasis is placed on ameliorating relationship by understanding what communication is in a couple and the pitfalls that should be avoided in order to have quality communication. As a result of these articles and what we have in that we have been living in our couple, we have to understand that conflicts in relationship are usually a result of differing perception rather than factual disagreement. We sometimes draw conclusions during communication based on what we believe to be true, when in fact we have no idea of what the truth is. One way to guard as misconception and misunderstanding is through perception checking. As Gandhi said, we have to put our foot in the shoe of the other partner in order to understand what he is saying or what he is feeling. One way of achieving this is by slowing down and listening of what each other is saying as not to misinterpret their words. Earlier in my marriage, when my husband and I got into heated argument, we would take each other's words and twist them around. This only aggravates the situation. With time, as we learn to communicate with each other, I often take guard against twisting my spouse's words. Misinterpreting is another perception check to consider. Always make sure to ask for clarification rather than jumping to conclusion. Sometimes when my husband will not talk to me, I will perceive this as his silence as accusing of wrongdoing of my part. I grown up to accept his silence mode when he wanted to be by himself. Over the year, as we have struggled to communicate better, I have also developed my listening skills. I have learned to listen without interrupting. I have also learned how to indicate to my partner I am listening by using both my body language and by asking questions for clarification, as we just learned during this class. While this has made me a better listening, I think there is still room for improvement. One area that I would like to improve on is being patient when a conversation drags on. I do have a hard time concentrating during a conversation which drags on. To improve the quality of the relationship and make it more supportive, I have learned to respect the dignity and words of those with whom I am conversing, which including the right for my partner to make his own choices and decisions. I have also developed a firm belief in my spouse, especially in time when he faces challenges that makes him doubt himself. I make sure he understands that I am there to support him always. I think our struggle to improve communication in our relationship has resulted in many positive changes. We are able to sit and resolve our differences like adults, not fighting anymore. We have also come to understand each other and are more equipped in communicating with each other. However, after going through the present communication course, I think I have gained some insight on how to improve communication in relationship as perception checking. As a couple who have faced challenges and have been able to overcome some of these challenges, It is imperative we continue to build on our communication skills. We should be ready to listen to each other with interest, mutual respect, and compassion in order to achieve real intimacy, integrity, and long-lasting love. We should also strive our guards against communication pitfalls like intimidation, negative non-verbal communication, and avoid communicating from a childish and parental stand. Thank you for listening about my relationship project, and I hope that you understand that in a relationship, communication is the basis, and listening is without judging or misinterpreting the words of the other is the key for a long lasting love. Thank you.